Alright, exhaust manifold, turbo, the downpipe all torqued up. Remember to go ahead and do the torque patterns for the manifold to the head. That's very important. And yeah, so let's go ahead and finish up the intake and the charge piping. And I didn't show this yet, but there's a cam sensor, so this is gonna have to come off. But I also hooked up our coolant line right here, so that is back together. But yep, so we're gonna go ahead and install this little intake portion. So here's our gasket, here's our little inlet pipe. Go ahead and make sure I wipe this down, and then our 3 screws or fasteners. Before I forget to tell you, these are 12mm, by the way. You know, nothing on this job is a walk in the park. Even putting on that little inlet, that one I was able to do by hand. Yeah, look at that battle scar right here. This one over here, on the other hand, look at that swivel 14-inch socket just to get through there, because my hands are just way too big. Not to mention, there's still one on the bottom side that I have to go ahead and do blindly. So just a hint for you guys, if you have longer arms to get access to that last bolt, what I had to do is reach my arm from over here, come across to the back side, and I was able to get it this way with feeling. So that's how I was able to get that, just to help you out a little bit. Alright, intake tube put on. By the way, it is a 12mm bolt, so go ahead and remove this. So the little mounting bolt and this mounting bracket came with my downpipe, so that's where I got it from. It's from MA Performance. It's gonna sit just like this, bracket up, and it's gonna sit just, oops, sorry. Come on. Sit just like so, covering everything from the heat. 14mm, by the way, 14mm to go ahead and tighten down. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and figure out my intake situation. I have an AMS intake, so that's what we're gonna be rocking. It's gonna sit someone like this. Blow off valve is gonna connect to the stem here, utilizing one of the supplied tubing, and also connects down to here, so that'll be our connection there. So I had to go ahead and disconnect the blow off valve from the top end, the one going to the lower intercooler pipe. This has to be removed as well. This whole hose will come off. Well, got that bottom pipe to the lower intercooler piping off. Had to, of course, cut it. That thing was stuck on there. But here's where we're at right here. So we're gonna go ahead, grab this. Let's go ahead and test fit everything. Go right up here. Blow off valve sits like this. And here's the other one. Connects right up to the intake. So that is gonna be our setup there. Alright, so it sucks, but I have the intake all bolted up with the clamps back there. However, I could not figure out how to mount this AMS heat shield. I took the battery, moved it around, tried to place this a million different ways. Can't figure it out in AMS instructions, doesn't really tell you how to do it. So if you guys have an AMS intake for the Ralliart, let me know, because this is an Evo 10 designed for one, so maybe there's a different bracket down here. However, I couldn't fit it. This may be far enough away from the engine. Hopefully it doesn't bother it too much, but yeah, figured I'd just let you guys know about that if you are indeed looking for an AMS intake. Alright, let's take off the old MAF, put it on the new one. Yeah, it just had another issue with the AMS intake. So it comes with 2 of these lines, or 2 of these tubes. However, that one is a little too short. The blow off valve ends up sitting like right here. Doesn't line up appropriately. So what I ended up doing was salvaging this hose, and that came off the original blow off valve from here to there. I just reused it and put it on here. So off of the intake, this is where it came from. Alright, now before we start doing all these last minute lines, boost lines and all that, we're going to go ahead and put this on. Alright, I'm going to call it a day today. Pretty much got everything in. I just got to do some last final touches as far as all the boost lines and wastegate stuff go. So I got to get it connected to the electronic boost control solenoid. After that, go ahead and fill her up with oil. I'll do the coolant, and we'll go ahead and give her a rip, get her started. But yeah, everything's looking nice and put together right now. Alright, absolutely filthy. That's what happens when you sit there and play around with all the rubber hoses, I guess you can call it. It's always dirty whenever you mess around with the intake area. It's just how it is. And I have a tendency to wipe my face, but everything is pretty much assembled on the car, right? Congratulations, everything is now torqued. The only thing we gotta go ahead and mess around with is the boost control solenoid and then all the hookups for it. I have to add in new engine oil since we drained that, and then I also need to do the whole coolant flush. After those 2 or 3 things are done, this should be done. We can go ahead and crank her up, see if she starts. Fingers crossed that she does. But yeah, that'll be for the next video. So that's about to do it for today's video. All right, want to try to keep them shorter. I have one more video for you guys doing the whole process of the boost control solenoid. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, comments, or concerns and what you saw today, lay a comment down below and I'll try to address them for you. Until next time, never leave your life on auto, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.